Hello, welcome back to the You at Your Best podcast. I'm your host, Morgan. So before we get into the episode, I just want to make a disclaimer. I was just listening back to the episode and I realized that I unintentionally made it sound like I don't think being a boy mom is important, or I think being a girl mom is superior to being a boy mom. That's not what I meant at all, but listening back, I feel like it kind of sounded like that. So before we get into the episode, I wanted to say that I don't think that at all. I think being a boy mom is just as important, if not more important. I think a huge purpose of a boy mom is to raise a boy who doesn't feel the pressure to push his emotions down, who learns emotional maturity, who is kind to himself, who feels every single emotion because he's a human being. Raising a boy who grows to be a man who takes care of the people in his life, who loves so deeply. I think we live in a world where men are forced to push their emotions down, and I think that is a huge part of the reason why we live in a world where so many women are terrified of men, because men are terrified of being human because they're not allowed to. And being a boy mom means raising a little boy who knows love to the fullest capacity and who understands that he is important and who loves himself, and because he loves himself, loves everyone else. I think being a boy mom and being a girl mom, the purpose is so similar. It's just to raise a person that loves themselves and is kind because they love themselves. And I would love to be a boy mom one day. I don't know if we're going to have more kids. I would absolutely love to, but the purpose of this episode was just to talk about the overwhelming joys that come with being a girl mom. But I think I may have unintentionally made it seem like I was saying that being a girl mom is superior, and it's not at all. Now let's just get back into the episode. So my baby is turning 1 in 8 days from the day that I'm recording this. It'll be 3 days after this episode comes out. So I just wanted to make an episode about motherhood. And I'm not sure where this is going to go, but motherhood changes you in ways that I personally had no idea it would change me in. Before motherhood, I was kind of a narcissistic, selfish person. But after having my baby, I have just changed so much who I am as a person. The things that I care about, I used to care so much about other people's opinions. And after having my baby, I just don't care. It's like my social anxiety almost started to disappear because my priorities have changed. I've realized that there are so many things in life that don't matter. Motherhood has been so healing for me, and even though it's been the hardest job I've ever had, it's also been the best. It has created and brought out the best version of me that I never would have been able to meet if I didn't become a mom. And it's weird because I thought that I always knew that I wanted to be a mom. I always knew that I wanted to have kids, but I thought that that would be something that I would want later on in life. I didn't think that I would want to be a mom at the age of 22. I had her at 21. I never thought that I was going to be a young mom. I always thought that I was going to wait until I'm older, that my boyfriend and I would get married first, that we would wait until we're completely 100% ready. But that's not what happened, clearly. But despite it being an accident, I think that it was always meant to happen. I was supposed to be a mom right now. My boyfriend was supposed to be a dad right now. It's just weird how things work out because this is not what I planned at all. But I never realized that becoming a mom was what I needed to find who I truly am. I spent so long trying to find myself, trying to find my purpose, and I kind of knew what it was. I knew that I needed to make podcast episodes. I knew that I am pretty good at motivational speaking. I knew that I was always meant to share things that people don't talk about, kind of be an oversharer. It's what I've always been. But I didn't know the point in that. I didn't love myself enough for that to become a true reality. And even though before I restarted my podcast, my episodes were pretty good. I really had nothing. I had no point or purpose in my life, and now that I have my baby, I've realized so much. I've changed so much as a person. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know how it happens, but we just become someone totally different after having a baby. I saw a TikTok one time where a woman was saying that if you knew me before I had my baby, then you don't know me now. And that's so true, because it changes you. You literally become a different person. And I've noticed whenever I'm not with my baby, I'm a different person than whenever I am with her. My boyfriend and I were a different couple whenever we're with her versus whenever we're not. We have to work really hard to support each other and be there for each other in this time where it's really difficult. We have an entire human being that we have to take care of, whose every need has to be met by us, and because of that, it can be really hard on your relationship. So having her changed our relationship so much, and in the beginning it changed it for the worse until we started really realizing what was happening, and we started working on it and trying to be better for one another, because we're a team and this is something that we're doing together, and you can choose to either be a team or to let it separate you. But I actually put in my notes some things that I wanted to talk about, things that I listed out. I put the joys of motherhood as a girl mom. I really wanted to talk about those things before her birthday, because I feel like I don't really talk about her very often on this podcast, and if I do, I just talk about what is actively going on in the moment and not necessarily my relationship with her and stuff like that. I don't really talk about those things on here because this podcast is, for the most part, very personal, and like I said in a previous episode, sometimes talking about that stuff kind of scares me because I don't want anyone to think poorly about themselves whenever they hear me talk about my experiences, but I've realized that I've been holding myself back from talking about something that's so dear to my heart, which is just my relationship with my daughter and the joys of motherhood as a girl mom. Whenever I was pregnant, I knew that she was a girl before I found out. I knew I was supposed to be a girl mom. I knew that I was supposed to raise her in ways that I wasn't raised, love her in ways that I deserved to be shown love. Literally just watching her grow, watching her become the best version of herself that I had to teach myself to become, raising her to be someone that doesn't have to go through years of therapy to overcome what I did to her. That's so important to me, and I actually just posted something on my Instagram story because I read it and I was like, this just feels so true, and what I've always felt like. It's a poem. It says, if you ever have a daughter, it will be payback. And it absolutely is. She is all the love I've ever tried to give and all the love I should have received. She is all the magic I lost along the way. And it just it makes me so emotional because it truly is so healing having a daughter being a woman. I think every woman deserves to have a daughter. And I know not every woman is going to have a daughter, and boy moms, I'm sure they're just as happy, enjoying life just as much, and I don't think it's that much different, especially in the younger days. But as they get older and become adults, I feel like being a girl mom is like the best thing ever. And like I said, I knew that she was going to be a girl. I wanted a girl so bad. My whole life I've always wanted a girl. I didn't really understand why. Even while I was pregnant, I didn't know why. I just knew I really wanted a girl. I knew I was meant to have a girl. That's why, because she's going to be so much like me, probably. And if not, that's okay too. But I get to raise her to be herself and to love herself, love other people because she loves herself so much. I get to raise her to be someone who enjoys life, who lives life to the fullest and really understands the meaning of her life, really understands her potential. I get to raise someone who doesn't have to go the extra mile to unlearn like I had to do. Okay, now I think I'm just going to share the things that I have in this list. And also, if you hear that toy in the background, my baby's little purse toy, She keeps on pressing the button for it to sing, so that's what is going off. And also, the guy who comes around and mows the yards and everything at my apartment, he's mowing right now. So if you hear that, I'm sorry. But I want to talk about the joys of motherhood, especially as a girl mom, but I'm sure boy moms feel this exact same way. The first one I have is watching her develop new skills. I never realized how happy it would make me. Just watching her grow, and my boyfriend and I, we get so excited whenever she learns a new skill. Whenever I would watch other parents get excited, I was happy for them, but I never really understood. And now that I have my own baby, I am shocked that other people are not as excited as me whenever she learns a new skill. And I get it, I wasn't excited whenever other parents' kids would learn new skills, but with her, I get so excited, and I find myself just wanting to talk about it all the time, wanting to talk about her and how she's developing and how she's doing. And a lot of the people in my life, they care, of course, but like they don't seem to care as much as I do. And I don't know if that's something that a lot of moms and parents experience. Maybe it's just because we're her parents and it makes us so excited, but she's taken a couple of steps and she's learning to walk. She's definitely going to be walking soon, maybe even before she turns 1. And it makes me want to cry just thinking about it. Like she's learning so much, and even though it's hard, whenever she started crawling around, it was literally like the most exhausting thing ever. But I was so excited for her, looking back at videos, seeing her learning to crawl whenever she wasn't ready yet. I'm so glad we got so many videos and pictures of her throughout her first year. Sometimes I would record videos and I would think, maybe I shouldn't be recording this video because it's not going to matter in the future. But looking back, every time I see them, I get so excited. It's so cool looking back and seeing how she was then and how she is now, and how different things are now just from 2 months ago. Having a baby, they develop so fast, and that first year especially, but I'm sure their entire life, watching them grow and develop, watching them learn new skills, it brings so much joy. And it also makes me kind of sad too, because she's growing, and I look back at old pictures and videos of her, and she was so different, but I also miss it. I don't want her to grow up, and that's why whenever people ask me if I'm excited about her birthday party, I always say yes, because of course I'm so excited, but I'm also so sad because I don't want her to grow up. It's weird. I'm stuck in between this thing of like being so excited for her to grow up and being so excited for her to learn new skills, but also not wanting her to. Looking back at old videos and wishing I could go back in time. It's the weirdest thing. I never thought that I would feel both things at once. And just like looking at her, like even though I know that she's not all mine and she's going to be her own person, and that's so important to me, that I raise her knowing that she's her own person and that I have no expectations of who she becomes. Looking at her and knowing that she's all mine, my boyfriend and I, we created her. We were the ones that got to name her. All of the people who show her love, they refer to her with the name that we gave her. It's just so surreal. I don't even know if I could fully explain the feeling. And something that I'm so proud of that I've done throughout this entire first year is I've been so patient with her. After listening to the Peds Dog Talk podcast, it's like it changed my entire brain wiring, and it made me the parent that I wanted to be for so long. It helped me do that without having to unlearn other things first, because it literally just changed me. And I think motherhood also did that. But if I could say one thing that I'm proud of myself for this first year, it's how patient I am with her. Consistently, I've been so patient with her. I am understanding. She cries. She's already throwing mini tantrums, and I don't get angry or annoyed or irritated. I'm just patient because I know that she's throwing a tantrum because she has really big feelings that she doesn't understand and she doesn't know how to deal with them. And I think being autistic myself, I also understand that on so much deeper of a level than I think most parents do. We definitely baby her a lot, but I wouldn't change that for anything. I think she deserves it. I think every girl deserves soft love. Every person, but especially every girl, me being a girl. The next one I have on this list is watching her get excited, watching her get happy, watching her laugh. Like, her laugh is so contagious, and I never thought that that would be something that would be one of my favorite things about a person. Whenever she starts giggling about things, my boyfriend and I were just in awe watching her, just so in love. It's the weirdest feeling. She's perfect. She's everything. And seeing her laugh, especially whenever she first started laughing and first started smiling, first started getting a personality, it was like the best thing that we have ever experienced. That's the only way that I can describe it. It's so important to us that first and foremost, she knows that she is loved. And as she gets older and starts getting a voice, starts finding who she is, I just know that we're going to be so excited about it. And getting the chance to baby her and treat her how every single girl craves being treated, knowing that I can do that for her. And I got that too growing up. I'm not saying that I didn't, but knowing that I can do that for her in every single way that I wish I had, it's just so healing, knowing that I don't feel the need to parent before I love. And I don't mean that in that I'm not going to parent her and we're not going to set boundaries, because of course we are. That's a huge part of parenthood. But always putting love first. Always letting her know that even if she's in trouble, even if we're upset with her, we always love her first. That's so important to me. And I'm so excited for the future. I'm not scared. I'm not worried. As she becomes a toddler and starts throwing tantrums, I'm not scared because I know that I can handle it, because I know that I'm putting my values before everything else, and that's all that matters. That's the most important thing. That's the only thing that we can do as parents, is just parent based off of our values. And I'm not saying that it won't be hard. I'm just saying that I won't be scared, because I know that we can get through it, and I know that I can handle it. And I know my boyfriend, it may be harder on him. I don't really know how he's going to do with tantrums, but he's so much like me whenever it comes to parenthood. Him and I are such a team. It's honestly just the perfect match whenever it comes to us. So I know he'll be able to handle it too. And I know it'll probably be a little bit harder on him than it is on me, but he'll learn and he'll understand. And I know 100% that we are both going to raise her with love. And that's what's important, not how we do it, how we handle it in one situation. If we accidentally slip up and get overwhelmed in a moment, that doesn't make us bad parents. We can always apologize later. The next one I have on my list is knowing that I have a lifelong best friend. Knowing that I get to spend the rest of my life having a best friend. That's what I love about being a girl mom. I know a lot of the time with boys, a lot of the time they grow up to be their wife's best friend or their partner's best friend. But with girl moms, they grow up to be more their mom's best friend. Their mom is the one that they always go to. And that's why I will never understand why there are some girl moms who genuinely don't want to be a girl mom. They wish they had boys, because what do you mean your daughter is too much? She's probably just like you. I just don't get it. Being a girl mom means that we will forever have a lifelong best friend if we make sure that our relationship stays positive and healthy. And that's what I love about being a girl mom, knowing that the girl that's in her room playing right now, whenever she's in her 20s, is still going to need me, is still going to be one of my closest friends, one of the best people of my life. And I think that's so incredible. That's something that a lot of girl moms don't even appreciate, the fact that their their girl is going to be their best friend forever if they allow that to happen. And something that I've realized with my mom is that once we become adults, we can become friends so much easier. She doesn't have to raise me anymore. And because of that, she can let go of some of that control whenever it comes to motherhood. And her and I are so much closer now than we were when I was growing up. And my mom and I were always really close. But just knowing that my daughter, I get to have that with her whenever she's older. And I'm so excited for that day, whenever I get to be that for her. And whenever she gets to be someone that's there for me in the same way that I've been there for her whole life. Being able to be that for my mom now. It's just really cool. And that's probably the best part of being a girl mom. Because even as they grow up, you still always have them. And of course, being a boy mom, it's the same, but it's a little different. Okay, and then I just have 2 more, but I'm going to put them together. So it's getting to know myself more, and also motherhood reminded me of my purpose. Being a mom has taught me so much about who I am as a person and who I want to be, the things that I care about and the things that I don't care about. It has taught me how to work towards being the person that I've always wanted to be. It has showed me who I am, what I care about, what matters, what doesn't matter, what my values are as a person, as a parent, how I want to live the rest of my life, how I hope my daughter lives the rest of her life. Okay, that's it for this week's episode. And to all the girl moms out there and all the moms in general, maybe your baby's turning 1 soon, maybe your baby's not born yet, maybe they're already a toddler, maybe they're a teenager, whatever stage of motherhood you're in, just remember to give yourself grace and remember that this is hard, but you can do it because we are their everything right now. The way that we handle their life is what creates who they are. It's what creates the relationship with themselves, the relationship with everyone else around them, how they make friends. And I know that's a lot of pressure, but I love knowing that we have that much power. We have the power to change the reality of past parenting. We have the power to parent our kids how we want, to raise kids who are loved and who know that they're loved. Okay, and that's it for this week's episode. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next Sunday.